It's the first time that I've since I've had that house.
Yes.
So I used to it's very relaxing. Well, it's relaxing. Well, whenever I go to the banks, that's what I would do. Linda, you're going to I know it's there. If I can't see it, I know I can see it. It's kind of funny. I take it off. Yeah. So I'll go down the road because I can't go to see it. Take my sister down. That's what he is. That's no problem. Exactly. So, she was talking a little bit about rooms. That's sad. Maybe I'm not coming out. She said that you're sure. I keep getting the I don't want to find out. Well, my children I used to like when they were big enough to call that out. I don't do that anymore. That's what she was saying. She said that area is now going to be like chicken or something.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Paoli Battlefield Preservation Fund, the Paoli Memorial Association, and the Daughters of the American Revolution, welcome to the Paoli Battlefield and Paoli Memorial Grounds Wreaths Across America ceremony. We are gathered on this hallowed ground where men are buried at this battlefield, met their fate in the 9th bloodiest battle of the Revolutionary War on the night of September 20th, 1777. After this battle, the cry of "Remember Paoli" was born and used by Continental troops in subsequent battles to remember what happened here that night. Since that time, the "Remember" phrase has been used in other battles throughout our country's history. Thank you for joining us here as we hold truth to the Wreaths Across America's principles of remember, honor, and teach. Never shall we forget them and all those who are fought for our country. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember the fallen, the prisoners of war, the missing in action, and honor those who have served and are serving this great nation's armed service. Pam Scott. Now we invite you to pray in your faith and tradition as Pam Scott, chaplain of American Legion Post 668 in Wayne, prays and hears.
Dear Lord, thank you for the gift of this new day. As our days begin, fill our hearts with calm, joy, and purpose. Let our peace guide our thoughts and your love shape our actions. Bless our United States of America and all our families with rest and renewal. Help us walk in kindness today and every day. Amen.
Okay, color guard, post the colors. And now, Brent Scott of Boy Scout Troop 231 will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now, I'd like to welcome Olga Leek, President of Historic Military Impressions, to do our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Olga. Can't do much about the wind, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Wreaths Across America ceremonies are taking place in all 50 states, U.S. territories, and at 26 American overseas cemeteries, ensuring we honor, remember our heroes wherever they rest. This year across the country at more than 5,500 participating locations like this one, there are millions of Americans gathering safely as one nation to remember, honor, and teach. We are proud to be Americans that live in a free society made up of many people from many walks of life. The freedoms we enjoy today have not come without a price. Laying here before us and in cemeteries throughout this nation are men and women who gave their lives so that we can live in freedom without fear. The United States of America was founded on the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality. Our nation stands as a shiny beacon of liberty and freedom to the world. We thank those who gave their lives and keep us free, and we shall not forget you. We shall remember. Today, at more than ever, we reflect on our nation's veterans and active duty service members who have and continue to fight and protect the innocent and the oppressed. Many of you here today have answered that call and served your country well. For this we say thank you, and we are honored to know you. There are many men and women serving here today, or today in branches of the military, here at home and in places far away, that most of us have never heard of. We honor them and their families for their sacrifices they made each day to keep our country safe from terrorism, hatred, and injustice. Quoting our 40th United States President, Ronald Reagan, quote, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. we do not pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was like in the United States when men were free, end quote. Today, we show a united front of gratitude and respect across the United States of America as we remember the fallen, honor those who serve and their families, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Thank you.
The ceremonial wreath-laying. Now, Sergeant Chris Abrahams will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who have served and are serving the United States of America. Now, Corporal Steve Hill will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who have served and are serving the United States Marine Corps. Now, First Class Petty Officer Jack Costa will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who are serving and are serving in the United States Navy. Now, Chief Master Sergeant Bob Philippone will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who have served and are serving in the United States Air Force. Staff Sergeant Mandy Snyder, 166 Communications Flight, will lay a Veterans Wreath of Honor of those who are serving in the United States Space Force. Petty Officer Robert Turner will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who serve and are serving in the United States Coast Guard. Now, Leah Mitchell will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the United States Merchant Marines. Now, Sergeant LaBranche will lay a remembrance wreath in honor of the 80,922 United States servicemen from all branches of the service whose last known status was either a prisoner of war or missing in action. These individuals have never returned to their families and homes, and we shall never forget. time, we would also like to honor all the uniformed service members who served in the National Guard and first responders. Specialist Corps will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the Pennsylvania National Guard. Officer Tyler Berry will lay a holiday wreath of memory of those who served and are serving in the Pennsylvania Police Force. Fire Chief Jerry Vaughn will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the Pennsylvania Fire Departments. Will lay a holiday wreath in memory of those who served and are serving in the Pennsylvania Emergency Medical Services.
National Guard please come?
Each participant today will receive a small keepsake wreath ornament that includes an excerpt of a poem read here at Paoli Battlefield for the 175th anniversary. While Sergeant LaBarge and Specialist Croyle fold the American flag, here's the significance of each of the 13 folds. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace as well as in time of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all her enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood and mothers, for it has been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great has been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for He, too, has given His sons and daughters for defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon and glorifies in the Hebrews' eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in the Christian's eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The 13th fold, or when the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
Welcome Colonel John Chambers.
I have returned to remember those who have perished by my side. I have been fighting in this war since the summer of 1775, when Thompson's Rifle Battalion, now the 1st Pennsylvania, was raised under Colonel William Thompson and Lieutenant Colonel Edward Hand. I was honored to be selected as one of their captains, commanding a company of my neighbors from Cumberland County in the heat of action. This was a regiment made up of Scots-Irish, German, Welsh, Mannix, and Free Quaker ancestry. They're stout and hardy men, many of them exceeding 6 feet tall, and are a remarkable shot from a distance, with their personalized Pennsylvania rifles, which they have been training with since their youth. While I have confidence in my lads, nothing will replace my wife, Catherine, who I will be leaving behind, along with our 4 children. I still don't know if I will ever see them again. Our unit has seen a great deal of action over the past 3 years. Our first order was to march to Boston. After 11 months of besieging the city, we succeeded in our endeavors and liberated the people. But our victory was only temporary. 2 of our companies then marched 1,000 miles to Quebec, suffering heavy losses. At Long Island, we came close to complete annihilation, but we lived to fight another day. As a rifle unit, our job is to both harass the enemy, but most importantly, to cover retreats. Our unit covered the Army's retreat to Manhattan, where we stayed at Brooklyn Heights, stoking campfires to fool the Redcoats, and we were the last regiment to leave Long Island. We followed General George Washington as he was forced back to Harlem Heights, White Plains, Fort Washington, and then finally retreated in New Jersey until the Army reached the Delaware River and crossed Pennsylvania. On the 26th day of December, 1776, which I hope is remembered as a glorious day for our cause, our regiment cut off the Hessian escape route, forcing the troops to surrender at Trenton. When Colonel Thompson was promoted to Brigadier General, Lieutenant Colonel Hand took command of this regiment on the 7th of March, 1776. The Continental Army was then reorganized at the beginning of 76. Colonel Thompson's Rifle Battalion was renamed the 1st Continental Regiment, with all orders that Continental regiments would be to procure their own standards. Colonel Hand designed the regiment's new flag. Even before we declared independence, Colonel Hand created a prophetic motto on the 1st Continental Regiment: Du Marni, Nolo, I refuse to be subjugated. Colonel Hand, like his predecessor, was Colonel Hand, like his predecessor, was promoted to Brigadier General on the 1st of April, 1777, and commanded this regiment, and was given to me. After a hard winter in Morristown, this regiment started in the beginning of a campaign in 1777, and the 1st Pennsylvania Brigade under General Anthony Wade's division. By this time, we are now considered an elite regiment. And we fought extremely well at the Battle of Brandywine, in which our brave lads retook our captured colors, covered the Pennsylvania artillery's withdrawal, and after the artillery crews left a howitzer behind, this regiment pulled the cannon to safety before retiring from the battlefield themselves. Then came this dreadful day, the 20th and 21st of September, 1777, which was called the Engagement of the Great Plains, or Great Flats. I had around 230 men under my command working with Colonel Hartley. As we were about to sleep, we heard before midnight a loud voice that said, "Turn out, turn out. The enemy is coming. Give them your fire and charge bayonets." General Wayne instructed me to connect with General Smallwood's Maryland forces, which was large enough to push the enemy back. I was told to act as a guide for him, but we never managed to connect amid the chaos. So many of our riflemen were not prepared to combat with the bayonet of trained regulars. A fellow officer from the 7th Pennsylvania told me, The annals of the age cannot produce such a scene of butchery as we saw, and I concur. So many of my men were wounded and died from these wounds as time went on. We lost a surgeon's mate named Dr. Christian Rednick. This unit was given an impossible task to both cover the withdrawal of other Pennsylvania troops and link up with Smallwood's men. This carnage, this brutality by Gray's men show the measure of their resolve. May this event be a reminder to all of us that we are not just Pennsylvania men or Massachusetts men or New Jersey men. We are Americans. But we were determined to avenge the fallen here. And in the village of Germantown, on the 4th of October, 1777, the regiment would redeem itself by attacking the British position with great zeal. Victory was within our grasp, but our line was fired upon by our own men, the Continentals, through the fog, and we had to force a retreat. The last engagement I was personally in was with Colonels Potter and Lacey of the Pennsylvania militia, the local Pennsylvania militia, to halt Lord Cornwallis from foraging the Lower Merion region of Pennsylvania, and then we regrouped with General Washington at Gulf Mills. We are now training at this place called Valley Forge, transitioning from purely a rifle regiment to muskets and practicing with the bayonet. The men are slowly learning well with this, but it will take time. The new drill master is an inquisitive character, von Steuben, a baron from Prussia. He is harsh on the lads, but that's what they need right now. We have a lot of upcoming hard fights ahead of us. We are tired, we are hungry, but we must not falter. This war, which has cost so many lives, their families, and their fortunes, was a war that started as a rebellion to demand that our rights as English subjects would be recognized. Now, I look upon this field as I reflect on those who bled beside me. I realize that this is greater than all of us. We are changing the way mankind governs. The promise of freedom, which we still don't know what that fully means yet. The promise of liberty, which could be nothing but words on a paper. But I believe in my heart the words of Thomas Paine, who wrote in his pamphlet Common Sense, that the cause of America is in a great measure the cause of all mankind. That our cause is just, and that these men did not die in vain.
We encourage every volunteer here today to take a moment and to thank our soldiers for their service to our country. It is a small act that goes a long way toward keeping the memory of our veterans alive. Remember, we are not here to decorate graves. We are here to remember not their deaths, but their lives. Each wreath is a gift of appreciation for a grateful America. As a nation standing together, we can defeat terrorism, hatred, and injustice, thanks to our veterans who had the freedom to do just that.
I would like to say that our fire chief and our EMT do send their regrets for having to leave early to a working fire in Paoli. And we do thank those of us who will be presenting wreaths today. So I will first ask those with numbers 1 through 15 if you could come up
and we'll start lining you up to present our wreaths. Those of us who are presenting wreaths today are from all walks of life through Malvern Borough, whether it's a citizen up to Borough Council, and then those who are veterans, all the way down to young scouts and things like that. So I do appreciate everyone who is helping us present these wreaths. We do not know all of the names of those who are in the grave, but we will announce the names of the ones we do know. So when we get to the point of lining up the next group, just follow those. But we also thank those at St. Patrick's School for what they do for us, since we have a different kind of site than a lot of the locations with the headstones that have names on them. We add tags to each of our wreaths since we have no headstones. And those with names have their names, and those who are just known by their regiment number, that's their regiment number on there. On the reverse of the tag, they had St. Patrick's School chosen a poem a few years ago, and recently we found a poem that was written and delivered by Dr. Henry Pleasance Jr. on the 175th anniversary of the Battle of Paoli, and it was published in the Daily Local on September 21st, 1961, and this is the poem that's now on the back of the tags. Sleep well, ye heroes, where ye lie. 'Twas for our freedom ye did die. Today above your common grave we shall renew the pledge ye gave. Strange though it seems the foe ye fought, have with you bonds of friendship wrought. For side by side across the sea we've fought to save democracy. To the great faith so dear to you always we promise to be true. Never shall traitors' treacherous guile find us enmeshed in slavery vile. Rest well, Paoli's heroes brave. You did your part this land to save. And as the centuries roll by, ever will sound your battle cry. Remember Paoli. Presenting our first wreath today on behalf of Malvern Borough and the Daughters of the American Revolution is Lynn Frederick, presenting the wreath with the name Major Marion Lamar from the 4th Pennsylvania. Is for Surgeon's Mate Dr. Christian Reinick of the 1st Pennsylvania. We honor Lieutenant Major Walbrin of the 2nd Pennsylvania. Ensign John Martin from Colonel Joseph Armstrong's 5th Battalion. Ensign William McGee of the 5th Pennsylvania. Private Gabriel McKnight of the 5th Pennsylvania. Private Robert Marshall of the 5th Pennsylvania. Private Edward Dodkins of the 2nd Pennsylvania. Private Robert Bassett of the 4th Pennsylvania. Private Dennis McSwine of the 5th Pennsylvania. Private William Campbell of the 5th Pennsylvania. If you're holding tags up to number 30, you can please come forward and get in line. Private Charles McCann of the 5th Pennsylvania. Private Charles Temple of the 5th Pennsylvania. Private Neil Harden of the 7th Pennsylvania. Private Nathan Hemphill of the 7th Pennsylvania.
Went to the wall to touch his name. When I never
Trooper Jones Dean of Bland's 1st Continental Dragoons.
he died fighting in the war. He was in the Air Force. His name was Don. Had lots of medals on his chest. He flew fighters over Vietnam. People say he was the best. When I touched his name, I knew he had died.
Soldier Wallace of the 5th Pennsylvania.
He died so all our children, wild, free, and tolerant, died so we may He died for freedom, God, and died for you. Died
know in part is Soldier McBride from Captain Joseph Irwin's company. The following 9 wreaths will honor those who served from the 2nd Pennsylvania. At this time, with those holding tags up to number 45, please come forward. The following 9 wreaths will honor those from the 5th Pennsylvania. the tag numbers. Our remaining wreaths honor those who served from the 7th Pennsylvania. Two rows of 26 in this mass grave. The day after the battle, the locals in the area came and saw the carnage and came together and buried the soldiers in the two rows of 26 head to head the day after the battle along the fence line where most of the bodies lay. About 2 weeks after that battle is when a 53rd soldier was found out in the field. Now, we're on land today that is actually 2 pieces. The land that we're sitting and standing on today is owned by the Paoli Memorial Association and has been since 1896. The area to our east, beyond the fence line, is the Paoli battlefield, currently owned by Malvern Borough. And somewhere on that field, 2 weeks after the battle, another body was found. And he was buried where he lay because they could not move his body and they did not want to open up the mass grave. We do not know the identity of this person, but in honor him, we will lay a 53rd wreath on a stand, and we would ask that all who are able please stand to honor our 53rd soldier.
Present arms. go. Mark. Mark. Cover colors.
Color guard, prepare to retire colors. We want to thank our reenactors today from the Sons of the American Revolution and also historic military impressions. We also want to thank our color guard over there from the Pennsylvania Sons, the American Revolution. We have our firing squad from the American Legion Post 668 in Wayne, Pennsylvania. And as they march out, would you please give them a round? Thank you. thank our bagpiper, Jerry Flynn, our bugler, Tom Hearn. And on behalf of the Paoli Battlefield Preservation Fund, the Paoli Memorial Association, the Daughters of the American Revolution, thank you for joining us today at a Wreaths Across America ceremony. A special thanks to all of you who donated or sponsored wreaths. Without you, this day would not be possible. Thank you.